right, so what's up, everybody? This is Ruben Garcia, and this is a beautiful day. And today on the Proven by Ruben podcast, we have Kent Temple. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. So I'm going to turn this.
There we go. All right.
And so if you could, tell everyone who you are, what you do, how you do it, and all that good jazz.
So I'm Kent Temple. I'm with KW Williams Realty. Have been since 2005. Started building a real estate team in about 2009. Built up. In my hub where we run our main business, we can do about 140 sales a year, a little over $50 million. This year we decided to expand.
Okay.
And so recently we've opened up offices in Charlotte, South Park.
Okay.
Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
The Triad of North Carolina, around Winston-Salem, Greensboro, High Point, Kernersville.
Gotcha.
And Asheville, North Carolina. So it'll be interesting to see what we do over the next year as those start to blossom and get open. In addition to that, I'm an investor in 6 Keller Williams offices. My wife, Pam, and I actually are the managing partner of 3 of those 6.
Okay.
And I'm Keller Williams Master Faculty, which gives me the opportunity to travel around the country and speak. And it's what brought me to Fayetteville today. And was able to add this on to a schedule, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah. So again, adding it to your schedule, I do appreciate it. It is 6:30 plus in the morning, and you gave me the opportunity to sit down with you today, this morning. And by the way, it's my birthday. So
I knew that, and I brought you a present. Not really. And I stayed up all night prepping for this.
Yeah,
not really. So yeah.
So that's perfect, right? So I'm not looking for too much prep. So that is awesome. So. To give a little bit more context to the listeners, how much is you and your team, your hub, the expansion, how much are you guys going to close this year?
So this year we'll do about 170 units. It looks like it's about $65 million.
Gotcha. Perfect, because that's what I read up on. Great. So you said that you started with KW 2008.
2005.
2005.
And that was the original. That's when, now my wife was already there. Pam Pam got licensed in 1998. Came to Keller Williams in 2002. Pretty soon after Keller Williams came to our area.
Wow.
And in 2005, we saw an opportunity to grow something bigger. And I joined, went full-time, finally quit my job in 2007.
Okay.
And July 2007, I went, okay, I'm all in, and Pam and I are going to build this business. And that lasted from July 2007 to October 2007. And then she got the opportunity to be a team leader at Keller Williams. And so she went, and she was a team leader for 8 years, director of luxury for Keller Williams International for a year, and then she came back to the team 2 years ago.
Gotcha.
And so now we're back running it together again.
So obviously you saw the opportunity in going full time into real estate. What were you doing before that? Because you said you quit your job. What was that job?
So for 17 years, I sold ladies swimwear.
Really?
Yeah. No punchline. That's There's. Yeah, I know you're waiting. You're waiting for it. It's like what's the punchline here? No, I sold ladies swimwear. I did the Southeast for several different California-based companies.
Okay.
Depending where your listeners are, I sold to people like Belk's, Macy's, Dillard's.
What got you into that category, that jam?
My dad, the hardest working man I've ever known, was.
That's your water too.
Yeah, thank you. Was a Charlotte City policeman. Okay. But his part-time job, he was head of security at the apparel center in Charlotte. And so as a kid, I would go up there and do what we called hustle tips. When the guys would pull in their little conversion vans from 10 years old, I'd grab their racks and load up their clothes and carry them upstairs. And when I graduated college, I didn't have a job. And a guy that I'd met up there that was a good friend of my dad's said, hey, I need a little part-time help. And 17 years later is when I got that industry. I started in there, worked with Larry for 3 years. Wow. And then before I went out on my own, and it was great. It was a great life. Did a lot of fun things.
Yeah.
People hear that and they're going, "Oh, that must have been an awesome job." It was about 30 days a year. It was just awesome. The other 330, it was just a job.
Right.
Yes, I got to go to New York 7 or 8 times a year. Yes, we did spend 10 weeks in South Beach every year. Got to go to California a couple times a year. So it was some fun stuff. Mostly, it's like anything else. When you're a sales job, 330 days of it was just sales.
Right.
And what I realized was, and what I didn't realize, what I saw was an opportunity at Keller Williams by accident.
Yeah.
I went to family reunion just to support Pam. Had no interest in being in real estate, and went to the awards banquet and heard what people were doing with this new concept of building a real estate team.
Right.
And that was in February of 2005. Went there with no interest in real estate. By April of 2005, I was licensed.
Wow.
And that was when we said, okay, now we're going to build something for us.
Right.
And quit building for somebody else.
That's awesome. So 2 things. One, what was the one thing that you took out of, would you say hustle tips at 10 years old? Well, doing that at 10 years old, knowing that most of your friends at 10 years old were probably under their sheets early in the morning. What did you take away from that experience?
Well, you know what? At that point, I didn't realize that everybody didn't do it. You know, my dad worked hard. I saw him doing it, and we went up there, and I'll be honest with you, I liked having money in my pocket.
Yeah.
And, I worked up there. And when you talk about that center that he worked at, man, I just didn't hustle tips for the rag guys coming in. I did the gift shows and the Christmas shows, and I graduated from there. I worked for the caterers. I worked for the people that set up the shows.
They knew you.
Yeah, I mean, I was up there all the time. I knew the building like that. If anybody needed anything, they would call me.
Right.
I knew who the people were. I knew where the people hid when we needed them. Where to go find them.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I knew all the secrets. And in fact, me and Pam were talking this the other day. I was just this close to going to work for a display company that set up shows around the country, instead of going in the apparel business with my friend Larry. And the deciding factor was, with the display company, I would have had to move to Atlanta. And I didn't want to move to Atlanta. So that was really fate. Who knows where I would have been if I would have went to Atlanta with that instead. I wanted to stay in Charlotte at that point.
Right. So you went to, in the second part, you went to family reunion. You got inspired. When you kind of go back to that section of your life when you went to family reunion, what was the one thing you took out of that? What was the one person you remember? The largest, the most inspiring part of the whole thing. So
when you go back to 2005, a different era in real estate. Keller Williams still, especially here, was largely unknown. And this whole team concept that we talk about in real estate now, and the people that are building it so big, this was a new thing. And really what happened, I had zero interest in real estate, but Pam wanted to go to family reunions in Vegas. She'd never been to Vegas. I thought, hey, we'll go.
Right.
So we go out there, and she spent 3 days, getting up in the morning and putting on her realtor clothes and leaving, and I spent 3 days hanging out.
Right.
But she said, take dress-up clothes. So we go to the awards banquet. So we go in, and you have to remember, my wife's always been a top producer. I mean, she was Rookie of the Year, always at the top. So sure enough, they start doing like they do now. They start announcing at number 20 and go down to number 1, top performers. And she was like 6 or 7 in the Carolinas, which no surprise to me. Well, they announced her name. I quit paying attention. And what I didn't realize was they started over at number 20 again, down to 1. And then the third time, finally I said, hey, they're still announcing and they're saying this number after their name. What's that number?
Oh,
and they said, that's their GCI. That's their gross commission income. And I was blown away. I said, how's that possible? And they said, well, they have a team. And that's when I went, well, I want a team. Let's go do this. The funny thing is, in 2005, in the Carolinas and Keller Williams, there was one person with a GCI, gross commission income, over $1 million. One. Last year, if you had a GCI of $1 million in the Carolinas, you were 48 in the Carolinas. So these big numbers that I was hearing in 2005, and I would in 2005 I would now be number 1.
Right.
I would be double what number 2 was in 2005.
It's truly that hockey puck, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's
or
exactly
that hockey stick.
Hockey stick. Yes, not the puck.
Not the puck.
Yeah,
No,
the puck hurts when it. Yeah,
right.
No, it's that hockey stick, and it's just exploded. And a lot of times you'll hear people talk about the 80-20 rule.
Yeah,
and where it says 20% of your effort creates 80% of what you accomplish. And it works in everything that you look at. And I've always said, we've always said 20% of realtors sell 80% of the real estate. It's actually bigger than that. National Association of Realtors says that 7% of realtors sell 93% of the real estate. So if you're not in that 7%, what are you doing? And so that's what I think you have to strive for, is to get into that 7% if you're gonna build something bigger. If not, you're just floundering.
So for when teams were first getting introduced, and you all were hearing what teams were all about, what were some of the limited beliefs in the room, since it was a brand new concept that you heard? And
man, where do you start? There's no way that you can net that much. You don't have the time to do that. Your company won't support you in doing that. Just anything that's unknown, you always get that negative feedback from.
Sure.
And then the biggest, the biggest mistake we made is there was the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, which, and I know it was written by Gary Keller, but it's not a Keller Williams book. It's just, it's how to build a team.
That's right.
It doesn't say Keller Williams anywhere in there.
That's
It doesn't talk about profit share or culture or
Yep.
agent leadership. Forget all the stuff that we hold tight.
Yeah.
It's just a real estate book. And I didn't follow it. And that's my big mistake in there. If I would have followed that book, I'd be way ahead of where I was now. Instead,
Right.
I started in 2007 on this path to building a team and completely failed, and had to completely start over in 2009 and redo it and try to do it the right way.
Right. So what were some of those challenges 2007 to 2009? Now, we know we didn't follow the MREA, and I say some challenges because I know there's a lot of challenges, especially growing your own business or growing a team. Talk to us about some of those challenges that we can take away and make sure that we don't do.
The biggest mistake I made, and obviously, like I said, I wasn't really following the model, but even if you don't follow the model, you're selling real estate, so you should be able to get through some of that. So
Right.
I probably could have made it through some of that if I would have had some sort of process for finding talent and hiring, and I had no process, none. Somebody showed up and said, "I want to be on your team," and I went, "Great, here's an open chair.
Yeah.
Have a seat." And I could have had the best people in the entire world, and if they're in the wrong seat, they did me no good.
That's right.
So that, to me, that's the biggest thing is, and no matter what industry and where you're going to start, if you're going to start surrounding yourself with people, it has to be talent. That's what the MRA book says, that talent will take you further than an entire busload of less talented people. Mm-hmm. So you have to find talent, but then you have to train them, you have to lead them, you have to motivate them, you have to hold them accountable through the process forever. I mean, that becomes your job if you decide that you want to surround yourself with people. I'm convinced that through people is the greatest way, easiest way, fastest way to accomplish success, and it's also the way to affect the most people's lives.
Yeah.
It's not just when I'm successful, everybody on my team benefits.
Right.
And we're all in this together. So that, to me, that's what you have to master if you're going to build something.
Yeah.
Is that whole talent and what to do with them once you get them. And I didn't have that in 2007. In 2009, I thought I had it, like always, and I had this much of it, and you continue to grow.
Yes.
I take there's a course, and it's one in Keller Williams. It's called Career Visioning, mm-hmm. and I take it at least one time, and have every year since 2009, at least one time every year. This year I took it twice, and it's just to continue down that pathway to mastery, and just
Right.
to keep getting better at this process. Because when hiring, there's some things that are absolute. If you do it this way, if you go A, B, C, D, you're going to be successful.
That's right.
That doesn't work with hiring.
Yeah.
You're still going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Things change, and you just always have to be up in your game on that.
So, and you're exactly right. So this question may be a little difficult to answer. Career visioning, love career visioning, been a few times as well. And I think you're exactly right. You have to keep going. And career visioning's changing, right? There's some stuff that they're adding or taking, or depending on the instructor, that they'll kind of put in there.
The industry continues to cause it to change.
That's right.
Because if you look at when you set it up 10 years ago, a real estate team, it had these positions. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? That is morphed now. There's more. Yeah, there's more positions.
Yep.
There's new positions.
Yep.
So you had to change it, and you had to start looking at different personality types and who will fit here and who will fit there.
It's good that they're not romantic to the original style, and knowing that the market changes and knowing that it's okay to change, right? But going back to that question, for some of the people who are listening, could you condense what you're looking for when you see talent, or when you believe you see talent? What are some of the markers? And I know that it's a process to make sure that they're talent, and then make sure that the results are proving that they're talent.
Right.
But what are you looking at?
So if you want me to go broad based on that would cover all areas, because you're looking for something different when you're administrative versus sales. But the things that I look for is number one, you've got to be a person of integrity. And that, believe it or not, people, how do you know that? Well, it shows up, especially if you'll go 3 deep on the reference process.
Right.
So I need somebody that's a person of integrity. I need somebody that's a team player. They have to get the concept. There's no me in this. We're a team. I need somebody that's learning based. Mm-hmm. If you're not learning based, we're definitely not a match. They say that top producers spend 51 days a year in training. Mm-hmm. And I thought that just sounded so much until I realized how much I spend in training. So learning based, you got to have the eye of the tiger. You've got to want to go get it. I need people that are hungry if we're going to build something big, because I can't have some people that are hungry and some people that are not. So
Right.
we've just got to match. And then just, a big heart. And if you find that, we can work everything else out.
Right.
Culture, learning based, man, that'll take you a long way.
I agree. So I was at a different company before I came to Keller Williams, and
But you got here as quick as you could. It's okay.
yeah, I did. So it went too long. It was 6 or 8 months or so. However, when I sat down with the person who really showed me what KW had to offer, she showed me the opportunity of growing a team, right? And at that time, I wasn't really doing a lot in real estate. And I said, "Why do you want me? Why me? Out of everyone, we have 1,300 agents. It's not as big as Charlotte. We have about 1,300 agents in our market." And I said, "Why me?" And she said, "Well, because you're a good person. I could teach you real estate." And I was like, "Whoa."
That's it.
And one, she believed in me, but two, it wasn't about the skill of real estate yet. It was just that you needed to be a good person, a big heart, someone who's a hustler, someone who just, like you said, the eye of the tiger. That's all she was looking for, and everything else rolled right into place.
Well, the thing is, as a new agent, you didn't know how to sell real estate.
Yeah,
If you'd only been through real estate school, you knew nothing about selling real estate or the process.
That's right.
I mean, you're lost. So as somebody that's in that position, when you're dealing with new agents, that's what you're looking for is, okay, who do I like being around? Who can I trust? And that's all we want. I always say, we're talking to new agents like you were at that point. Don't judge us by who we're taking. Judge us by who we keep.
Right.
And we're going to keep those people that prove themselves and show that they have what it takes to be successful.
Yeah.
Within what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And my mindset at the time was, I'm not a top producer. Why the heck do you want me? Or why do you want me? I'm not producing that much. So could you give me an example of someone in your business that has stretched you, not your wife, can't use that, in your business to where, because like the book says, and like what we all know, talent is what will stretch us. Talent is what keeps our vision growing bigger so they can grow within it. Can you give me an example of something like that happened in your business where you said, whoa, where you felt a little uncomfortable but knew you had to grow?
Yeah. I would say, so when I restarted my team, my first agent hire was Connie back in 2009. And Connie's still with me.
Ooh, that's awesome.
In the last 5 years, she's sold 251 houses.
Congratulations, Connie.
Yeah. Connie has continued to push me throughout this process.
Yeah.
Connie's pushed me in terms of what she got to do. But when I started with Connie, I said, listen, we're partners in this, and you're my only agent. I'm not hiring any more until you tell me to. Well, you want to freak out. You be sitting in your office with no ideas, and Connie come in and go, I need help. So what do you mean? It's just time to hire another agent. And I went, oh, okay. And I had no bench.
Yeah.
I had no,
Right.
and she has continued to push me to grow that agent side of the business, despite the fact that she's the number one agent.
Right.
Now, once we started to expand, she actually pushed me the other way. She's been the devil's advocate on going to other offices. And we still have those conversations.
Sure.
But in having those conversations, it's helping me build that side of the business.
Yes.
While also learning to deal with people that might not be a big fan of it.
Right.
And so we're able, we've been together a long time, we're able to have those conversations and come to an agreement how this can work for both of us.
Right.
And I think I'm winning Connie around to how expansion will, because, all ships rise with a tide.
That's right.
And I just kind of going into a shifting market, which we'll probably cover that at some point today, right?
Right.
As we do, the bigger we are, the better we'll be able to survive through a shifting market. So I think I'm tweaking her and getting her more excited about what we're doing by going to other office locations. At the same time, her challenges to me are making sure that I'm doing it the right way. And I'm doing things that benefit everyone. Because if it wasn't her, I might just be going out and going, well, this looks good for me.
Right.
Does it look good for everybody?
So and correct me if I'm wrong, you're the empire builder. She sounds like an empire protector.
Connie's definitely one of what I would consider my wealth builders. And
Right.
Connie would consider me one of her wealth builders.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of the things that I've done for Connie, I mean, besides create an atmosphere where she could sell 251 houses, I did help mold that. She did a lot of it.
Right.
But changed her mindset. Connie has a different mindset with me than she had before. Most homes she ever sold before she came to us was 22.
Right.
And we completely changed the mindset around the way she felt about everything. We tell Connie now, we're like, you're 20 years younger than when you started with us 9 years ago. And she is, her whole, everything about her has so much more energy and everything. And just to, it's funny for me to say this about somebody who's been in business twice as long as I have, but it's been awesome to watch Connie grow over these 9 years. I would hope that if Connie was sitting here right now, that she would say the same thing about me, that it's been awesome to see me grow over the 9 years. Because there's me and Pam and Connie, Jenny's been with me since 2000, 18 and a half years, and Christy, and we have been together a long, long time.
Right.
And then you start, if you go further than that, and you can look at Kelly. Kelly's been with me since 2013, maybe 5 years. In real estate, that's a long time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And when you build Cheryl's been with me since 2010 or 11.
Yeah.
And I look at these people and going, we're one dysfunctional family, but we really are family. And so now what we're trying to do is like, okay, how do we take this concept that we have at Lake Norman and spread that around and get more people involved? So now the first place we went is we went to Charlotte South Park and had a phenomenal opportunity to get in business with Lee. And I would say in the last year and a half, Lee and Lee's top agent is Chelsea. Lee and Chelsea have probably pushed me as much in a year and a half as anybody ever has.
Yeah.
Well, it's because they had a business before they decided to join forces with us, and they did things this way, and I did things this way, and it has been a constant give and take over a year and a half. Some people say, well, are you glad that they were your first expansion? Some people might say, I'd think, well, no, I would have gone with somebody who didn't know what they were doing. But actually, they were the perfect first partners for me to have because they're helping us develop the systems because they had knowledge. If I would have hired a couple new agents as my first expansions, they would have done exactly what I said to do. Yeah. Come hell or high water. And we just went. Instead, I've got these guys that continue to and it's, when I say push back, it's push back in a way to help us grow.
Yes.
It's not defiant, and it's not I'm going to take my ball and go home. Yeah. It's no, we want to do this because we want to grow with you.
That's right.
We see the vision, and with Lee and Chelsea, I both see them growing with me bigger than what they're doing now.
Right. Which I would guess that's what keeps them excited to keep working with you and growing with you, that there is going to be larger opportunity down the road.
You like to think so, but not. You have to remember, not everybody wants more opportunity.
Right.
I look at my agents in Mooresville that have been with me a long time. All they want to do is sell real estate.
Yeah.
That's their deal. They're not looking. They're not looking to go open up another office for me somewhere.
Yeah.
Anything like that. They're very happy with it. They're like, okay, I want to maximize what I have. I want to run as smoothly as possible, and I want to do one of two things. I want to work the same amount and sell more, or I want to sell the same amount and work less. How can we make that happen?
Yeah.
They're focused on their time and money, and that's what they want. So you have to be able to differentiate. Okay, you have to know what people want. What is their big why? What is going to make them happy? And just like what I was talking about, Chelsea. Chelsea, I think, is 27 years old, but she's been in the business 4 years. I think she'll sell 40 houses this year in that range. I mean, she's a rock star, but she said she already knows at 27, most 27-year-olds don't realize they don't have maybe their end job. And she realized, I don't want to sell real estate forever. I have other goals and other things I want to do within real estate.
Right.
So that's the conversation that I get to have with her.
That's right.
That's what do you want to do? I want to go to the beach. So I just always tell her, if she's selling stuff, if she gets like depressed, I say, find your beach.
Yeah.
Find your beach. Where am I going to put you? And I'll take you wherever you want.
That's awesome. So I've talked to other business owners, even outside of real estate, and one of the biggest challenge that they have is hiring talent and retaining talent. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like you've done a really good job of some of the people that you spoke about, of really holding them into your business and keeping that retention going. It sounds like you're also having a conversation about Big Why and how can you fund that and how can we make that happen. But what else do you think is supporting that retention in your business?
Can we back up for a second before we go there?
Sure.
I told you all the success stories.
Yeah.
There's been other people that have flown through my organization
Yes.
that didn't work out.
Yes.
I mean, and it's funny. If I didn't think about it, I was like, yeah, most of the people stayed. And when you start going back through and you're going, oh, I forgot about that. Oh, I forgot about that.
Right.
We tend to remember the successes.
Right.
And when we're talking today, I'm talking about my failures in the broad sense. And you talk about your successes specifically. So I don't want to mislead anybody because if I did have that perfect finding talent and retaining them, then I would have charged you a lot more money than I'm charging you to be here today.
Right.
It would be a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
That'd probably have me at the the Fayetteville Convention Center in front of a big crowd if there was that perfect way to do it. So
Sure.
I just didn't want to mislead anybody. Now, so you want to talk about retention?
Yeah, and the only reason I bring that up is because, obviously, and I appreciate you being honest and transparent, knowing that there was failures along the way, but you do have some strong people in your business that you have retained. And if anybody listening to this wants to take a little bit of a nugget away from how that or what that quote unquote secret is, or what are some of the things you're doing to make sure that retention stays in place?
I think when you start with retention, you said you've had like 29 people sit in this chair.
Mm-hmm.
Those 29 people probably all had a certain personality type that they are, that caused them to want to be the CEO, whatever you want to call it, of a big company. When you get the mindset that, oh yeah, everybody else is not like me.
Yeah.
They don't want to do this. They think I'm crazy for all the stuff I do.
Yeah.
When you start realizing, okay, people are different, therefore you have to talk to them differently and you have to treat them differently, I think that's the easiest part. Is just now you can go have a conversation. Now we can go and we can talk about what matters to them.
Right.
Yeah, Connie has sold 251 houses in 5 years. Could she go sell real estate by herself? Yes.
Oh, okay.
Without a doubt. Could Connie actually do her own team? Yeah, she could. Yeah. She doesn't want to.
Right.
She does. She thinks I'm crazy.
Right.
So with Connie, all I do is I sit down and we have that weekly conversation on what's your big why and how are we doing on getting there?
Right.
How am I supporting you? And now the key is you've got to have enough people in your organization so that everybody gets to have that conversation with somebody. That's probably right now our biggest struggle.
Okay.
Well, we just expanded to 4 locations. Now, when we expanded to 4 locations, we got 3 in Charlotte, 2 in Charleston, 1 in Kernersville, and 1 in Asheville. So it's not like we added 10, but you've got these people, and I can only have that conversation with so many people.
Right.
So you have to make sure that you're doing an organizational chart that goes out so that everybody gets to have that conversation with somebody.
Yes.
But as long as, man, if you know what somebody's big why is, if you know what their big reason is, and you continue to lead them toward that, why would they leave?
Right.
They don't have any reason to.
I agree.
If you're not having that conversation, their big why might change.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know it, you might wake up one day and they not be there anymore.
Yeah.
It's when you're in a business relationship with people like this, it's not a lot different than being married. You have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Every day, when they talk about marriage, every day is not going to be the most romantic day you ever had in your life. It's the same in the business world. Every day is not going to be the best. But if you have an open line of communication and will value what other people think, and I'm going to be honest with you, when it comes to the agents on the team, I value their opinion way above mine when it comes to do anything with sales or operations, because they actually sell stuff.
Yeah, they got their boots on the ground.
Now, if it comes to business decisions, I value my opinion over theirs because I'm running the business.
Right.
But when it comes to that, I highly value what they have to say.
Yes.
And as long as, my only thing is, I said, you guys can bring me problems every single day on one condition. Bring me possible solutions with it.
No doubt.
If we can do that, if y'all can come in and say, this is what it looks like. And I mean, I think that's That's the secret, is just knowing what they want.
Yeah.
You're not a leader if nobody's following you.
Yeah.
And I try to lead. As I'm leading, it looks like we're all going to one place, but in reality, we're leading people to where they want to go. It just so happens that we can get all on that same line.
That's right. Yep. And that's so cool that you say that, because when talking to people, it's exactly with what you said. And we all get to where we need to go from the byproduct of us helping them getting to where they would like to be.
It's said a couple different ways.
Yeah.
Success through others.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's just so cool. Yeah.
Keller Williams, it's together we all achieve more.
Yeah.
It's that, but it works.
Yep.
It works. I think the thing that will hurts my business the most, you're talking about the failures, is turnover.
Yeah.
If no one ever left, I can't imagine where we'd be right now. Right. And people leave for very valid reasons. We're not a match. Right. And we were talking about taking career visioning. I do it every year. It just still doesn't make the system perfect.
Right. That's right.
It just doesn't. And situations change. I've had people that, Michelle, for example, was a top agent with me. Love her to death. She's actually coming to see us this weekend. We're excited. We hadn't seen her in a couple of years. But she called me. I was actually, believe it or not, this is probably 4 years ago. I was leaving Fayetteville. I had been speaking here in Fayetteville, was leaving. Michelle calls me on the phone. And she says, hey, when are you be back in town? Well, I was on the way home then, but I knew that there was something up, so I lied. I said, not for a couple of days. What do you want? And that's when she said, my husband, Matt, just got transferred back to where we're from, Salt Lake City, Utah. And that was the moment that I found out that she loved Matt more than she did me.
Dang.
Yeah, I was blown away. So here I had somebody that in her first 3 full years with me had sold 125 houses. Gone.
Right.
Through nothing that I did wrong. Right. And she'll tell you today, 4 years later, she'd love to still be right with us. It happened. Guess what? I had no bench, no replacement.
Yep.
I called my coach. Well, my coach called me weekly. I have a weekly coach call. He called me, and when he called, I was freaking. I was like, dude, Michelle's leaving. He says, whoa, calm down. It's going to be fine. I said, what do I do? He said, you go out right now, and you hire five new agents. And I went, I don't need 5 new agents. I just need one Michelle. He said, Kent, you go hire 5 agents right now and hope that one of them is Michelle. So I did the natural thing. I went and hired one agent. I went and did it my way. Yeah. And completely messed it up. Yeah. I actually hired somebody that fit most of the things that I looked for. They just had a heart of gold. They had integrity. They really were learning based. They weren't hungry. They didn't have the eye of the tiger. They were just, it was like, yeah, they were a good person, but didn't have it, and set my business back a couple of years. I don't know that I have ever, within my hub, I don't guess I've ever really replaced the position that she held. Right. Because I've never found that. When the business was most fun, I had Connie doing 50, I had Michelle doing 40, and I had Kelly doing 25, and Kelly's average price point is $500,000. It is a pretty nice little business. That's right. And when she left, that kind of changed the dynamic a little bit, and just never have really replaced. Of course, that's hard to replace. Finding somebody that can do 40 deals a year. With you.
So I think that's super important with what you said, is deepening the bench and always having people on the bench and looking out for talent in the long run.
As a leader,
yes,
that is my worst quality.
Okay,
is building a bench. That is what I am the weakest at, and here's why.
Okay.
I am that highly social person.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I know. It's shocking. So I'm the one, I'm going to hire the first person that walks in the door because I love everybody. Right. And plus everybody loves me. That's just, that's social people.
Perfect fit.
This is who we are. I can't believe you walked into my life. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And so I never think about building a bench, because why would anybody leave? Right. Well, you know what? Michelle left because Matt got transferred. Yeah. Things happen, but that's just has always, and so and that's the one thing that I continue to try to prove on. And I tell, for a long time, my number one job was lead generation. I needed to be looking to how can we lead generate to sell more business. Right. That morphed into, okay, now I've got these great salespeople. I still lead generate, but now my number one job is accountability. I need to hold these people accountable to their goals. Well, then
Yes.
we built it big enough that I could get other people to help me with that. So now, still lead generate,
Yes.
still hold people accountable, but
Yes.
my number one job is finding talent.
Yes.
I'm always on a talent search for multiple positions.
Yes.
And that's how you have to look at it if you really want to grow a business
Yeah.
and have that backup.
If you were to hold Connie accountable to having a talent search conversation every month for people that she believes is talent, could that help bring leverage into your world for talent search for your business?
Why you want to push me? Why are you doing this to me?
You see, I finished that with a question.
Yeah.
Right?
You have to teach. Sometimes you have to help people learn how to lead,
Right.
but it also has to be a mindset, and they have to want to do that.
Yeah.
And I think certain people do it. I don't think Connie wants to be on a talent search.
Right.
Now, other people in my life are on a talent search.
Right.
Pam is much better than I am on kind of keeping her eye open because she was a team leader. She was trained how to look for talent. But the other thing is, whereas I lead with that social personality that I love everybody, Pam's highly social, but she's more driven.
Right.
And so she's more, so she doesn't love everybody, and she doesn't think everybody loves her. She's able to turn that on and off more. By the way, that's why when it comes down to hiring people, and we're going through the process, and we go through the career visioning process, there's a validation in there of a KPA, which is a personality profile. I never validate anybody's. I'm certified to do it 16 times over. I won't do it because I love everybody.
Right.
No matter what it says on that sheet of paper about them, I can turn that around to how they're a perfect fit to be in my life. And Pam needs to do that because she can dig down and have that attitude.
Right.
And I think that's most people that are in my position would do it themselves.
That's right.
I think one of my strengths is realizing where my weaknesses are, and that's probably not the best place for me to be.
Right. That's why it's probably a really good match for you guys, right? It's on definitely personal side, obviously on the business side.
We are Pam and I are night and day different in those things. And as long as here's when Pam and I are successful, when we stay in our lanes all day long, and then meet at the end of the day, and stay in our lanes all day long and meet at the end of the day.
Yes.
If I veer into her lane during the day, it doesn't turn out well. And if she gets in my lane during the day, it doesn't turn out well.
Right.
The biggest problem that we had in the beginning was we weren't in the right lanes. We had to, over time, we had to determine who needs to drive which part of the business. And it's kind of switched back and forth on things until we got it. We have it right now.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
We do. Yeah. No, it's we have it right now.
Yeah.
She's got her responsibilities and I have mine, and that doesn't mean that she's 100% here and I'm 100% here. What it means is that she's 51% in these items and I'm 51 in these.
Yeah.
Now the 49% person gets to talk a whole lot and gets lit, but the 51% person gets to lead the conversation.
That's right.
And so when we kind of have spread it out that way, it works a lot better.
Yeah.
And it works a lot better for the team when they know who's in charge of
Clarity's power.
Of that part of it.
That's right.
So, but it process working with your spouse is,
Fun, exciting.
All those things. All those
yeah.
things.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason why I said because I believe it was career visioning. It may even been man, he's gonna kill me if I don't remember his name. He was speaking, great team leader. It hit me. But he said a talent finds a talent. And I knew for team leads or rainmakers or anybody who's really building the team, there's only so many conversations they can have in a day. But if we can use the leverage of other a talent within their team to continue that conversation, because talent, it takes time, it takes numbers. Was it 1 out of 100 or what did Gary Keller said? If you haven't interviewed 100 people, you haven't found a talent.
How do you know you found talent?
Right, exactly. So we leverage the a talent within the team to have those conversations for your business, which is a win. And in their world, it becomes a win when you can find out what their motivation is and how that a talent can help grow their motivation, get them more time. If they're not a good fit for the team, they may be a good fit for KW, profit share. There's all types of ways that given the conversation, given their motivation, that them searching for talent could be a win in their world, and it's leverage for you.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, who you hang out with matters, and
100%.
there's all these different things. Well, first off, when we talk about it, if you go through the One Thing book, Gary and Jay wrote the One Thing book. When you go through that, and it talks about your key relationships, and some people when they think key relationships, they automatically think, well, that's my spouse and my kids.
Right.
You know what? Your key relationships are anybody that you let in that 3-foot circle. Your key relationships are the people that you spend the most time with.
Right.
I spend a lot of time with those people in that office.
That's right.
And those are key. Now, my wife and kids are too. They're a key relationship, but those people are key relationships for me. And I believe all the things, I believe you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Yeah. If you're the smartest person at the table, you're at the wrong table. There's all these things. My favorite one is hang out with people that remind you of your future, not your past. And I think about all these things, and I continue to try to surround myself with people that are up here.
Right.
And to top grade who I'm spending my time with.
That's right.
And I spend a lot of time with my team, so I want them to be top talent, and I want them to be people that push me. When if you look at expanding a real estate business,
yes,
it says that the first thing you should do is expand within your own area or
That's right.
MLS. So I did that first.
Yes.
Then it says you should maximize your state because you know all the rules and the laws and everything. Well, I happen to be licensed in North and South Carolina.
Well, you're right there on the line.
I'm on the line.
Yeah.
But the most logical place for me to expand after South Charlotte was not Charleston, South Carolina. And people think, Kent likes to vacation in Charleston. That's why he picked there.
Beautiful spot.
And that's not why I picked there. In Charleston, South Carolina is Joseph and Lynn Klosik.
Yes.
And longtime friends, but I admire them as much as anybody that I hang out with.
Yes.
Their spiritual life is unbelievable. I want to be in business with them. And I wanted Joseph to be my expansion director. And so that's why we went to Charleston. We had talked about it for 2 years jokingly. And when I made the call to him, he was like, hey, you're not joking anymore, are you? And I said, no, I'm serious this time. Let's talk about what this looks like. Now, it has been, this whole expansion thing, I'm going to tell you, it's pain in the butt. It has been maddening, which is what makes it exciting.
Right.
But it has been so cool to somebody that I admire like I do Joseph, to speak to him every single day for the last year. And he always says, no, hey man, because when you're building something new, there's ups and there's downs. We're downs. He goes, hey, if this ever starts to affect our friendship, I'm out. And that's what you want somebody to say.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I always tell him, I said, who said we were friends? But,
and then hang up on him.
Yeah, and hang up on him. Yeah. Take that.
Right. So for some of the people who are listening and watching that don't know what expansion is, what is that?
All right. So the concept of expansion works like this. You have this great real estate team in an area. And so we're in Fayetteville today. I'll use Fayetteville. So we've got this great real estate team here in Fayetteville. And we've built out this awesome, what we call a hub. What the hub is that's that administrative support team. Mm-hmm. You've got everything. You've got people that handle listings and people that handle closings, and you've just got all of it set up. So that's key one. We've got this awesome team.
Sure.
You've maximized your business. You're dominating Fayetteville. You've got all you can get. To grow, you've got to go somewhere else. So with expansion, the idea is, again, within your area if possible, and then within your state. You don't want to be jumping all over the country. You decide to go somewhere else. So look, we're in Fayetteville. Let's say we would go to maybe Pinehurst.
Right.
Okay. That'd be a good place for you to go first because it's close. Are you sharing MLS with them?
No. Mixed.
Mixed. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we would do is we'd go down to Pinehurst, and we would find a great agent partner down there and say, okay, here's what we want you to do. You're basically an agent on my team, but we're going to put you in the Pinehurst Keller Williams. And we want you to sell. We're going to provide you leads and support. We're going to do all your administrative stuff. All you go is you lead generate. You work with buyers, work with sellers. You write contracts and negotiate, repeat. I mean, that's your job. We're going to handle everything over there. And so now you've got this presence in Pinehurst, and you get that up and running. You go, okay, what makes sense next? Well, you know what? Let's go up to Raleigh, big market, and let's go up there. Mm-hmm. And so you start placing these sales teams, and everything else is handled by the hub. So what it does is it cuts down on the administrative cost. Instead of having salespeople in Pinehurst and this administrative team,
right,
they're all handling it right here, and you're able to keep control of it and keep the standards and the service high because you had this incredible hub here. That some people say that you're limited on how many you can open an expansion to 805 right now, because that's how many Keller Williams are.
Huh. That's a good way of.
Yeah, right now there is a limit to how many expansions you can have. It's 805, I think, because that's the number.
Yeah, no, that's when you first said limit, I was like, I wonder who's putting a limit on this. But when you said 805, I was like, okay, great.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yes.
Well, so my limit in the Carolinas, I can only do 40 in the Carolinas because there's only 40 Keller Williams right now. Now, by the time we get to 40, there'll be 50.
Yeah.
And again, we're looking this and we said, okay, we're going to do these 4, and now we're not up anymore right now. We want to get these up and running and learn. People say, what's your long-term goal? Listen, I love what I do. Mm-hmm. I've got a good life. We're going to try to help as many people grow within us as we can.
Right.
And if that's just 4, it's going to be just 4. But next year, maybe we'll do 4 more. But we just have to see. Okay?
Right.
We want to do this the right way. Right. And people say, how do you decide where you're going to go? Well, I go where the talent is. Mm-hmm. South Park was when I did Charlotte South Park, that was a natural because it was in my MLS. That made sense. After that, as long as I was in the Carolinas, I was good. We have went places. We wound up in Kernersville, the Triad, which is Greenville and Salem, High Point, Kernersville. We wound up there because Pam number 2, raised her hand. Pam has worked with me for 5 years as a team leader. She wanted to get back in sales. Known entity to me. Right. I mean, I known her, worked with her, know her work ethic, know how much she cares. So I was like, oh, yeah, we're a match. So I got her. Carly up in Asheville. So I've known Carly for years because her aunt and uncle are some of my best friends. And Carly is just like her Aunt Janet, and if you know who Janet Falk is, Janet's been mildly successful. Yeah. And here I'm going, oh my God, here's a 25-year-old Janet Falk. I think I want to be in business with her.
Right.
When people like that raise their hand, you're going, boom, so I'm in.
So most of the time they are raising their hand to grow within your vision and things that you guys are
right now. For us, we have not had to go look for talent to grow. It's raised its hand and it's made sense. Now, if I was 30 years old and doing this, I would probably be going faster. Right. I'd be making more mistakes. Yeah. As I went on, I wouldn't. That's right. I'm okay going slow. Yeah. But so my oldest son is in real estate. KT's in real estate. And by the way, he's a huge KT podcast fan.
Is he? Awesome. Yeah, subscribe, KT.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
So, no, he already has. He's yes. So he's a huge podcast fan. He's with Keller Williams. Okay. And he was and he was working with us. And he came to me one day and he said, hey, Dad, I want to get into leadership with Keller Williams. I want to be a team leader someday. And I went, well, cool. That's awesome. What made you make this decision? He says, well, I'm still going to take over your business one day. And I went, okay. He said, but you're not getting out anytime soon. I said, you're right, bud. Go do what you want to do. Yep. Go, because you're right. It ain't yours anytime soon. I like this too much. I'm having too much fun. Good. I like my people. Good. So you got 25, 30 years to go play whatever you want to do, and then we'll talk.
Is he a TL?
Crown. He's assistant team leader in Fort Myers, Florida.
Nice.
And absolutely loves it.
Yeah.
He loves being in Florida, loves his role, loves the people he's working with.
Yeah. I think, that's probably pretty good for you because I learned more about business as a TL and numbers and the conversation through numbers and people than I would have ever learned if I would have went out to get my MBA. It's forced growth. It's the best opportunity. And for me, it was the best opportunity in KW. It really was. So,
that is the best opportunity within Keller Williams.
Yeah.
You look at it. You look at all the people within Keller Williams that started out as team leaders. You go backwards. You go Mary Tennant, right? Mark Willis. Now you got John Davis. Yeah, Smokey Garrett. They were all team leaders at some point. Yeah, all the opportunity that I've had. I said that Pam and I are investors in 6 Keller Williams. Mm-hmm. I'm the operating principal of 2. She runs one of our business centers. That all came about because she made the decision to be a team leader. If she didn't do that, none of that happened. So that is the land of opportunity. And what I've told KT is, if you continue to do the job that you're doing as an assistant team leader, where do you want to live? Right. Anybody, if you have a track record, if you have a track record of success, there, you can go pick the city, and there will be an opportunity. There just always is within there. Where do you want to live? And where else can you say that you have that opportunity? But he could go to any major city he wanted to and have a job if he has a. Where else can you get that opportunity? And the quality that he has is he's not scared to pick up the phone. He will make. Look, he just does. And so that for him, and it's funny. You're looking at a 24-year-old. So he's in Fort Myers, so he can go to Miami. He really says, Dad, I'm like in Miami right now. So okay, I get it. Just
24.
I mean, whatever, Where do you want to go though? I mean, I just can't imagine being 24 and having that kind of opportunity, or somebody cool. telling me that you have that opportunity. But he does, man. His brother. So there's only 14 months between him and his younger brother.
Okay.
And he's at San Francisco State University. So he's like, maybe I'll go to California someday. I'm like, okay, calm down. Calm down. I hope nobody in Fort Myers is hearing this. He's not leaving anytime soon, people. No. Okay, yeah.
So and this is me just being curious, what does KT stand for? I think I have an idea.
So I'm Kenneth Jr.
Okay.
So he's Kenneth the Third.
Got it.
KT is Kent the Third. Yeah, it's when I was from about high school, people started calling me KT.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
I figured I want to ask.
So he told me one day that this ends with him. That there will not be
so KT and
there won't be a fourth that they've done. And I said, but I've already named what it is. He goes, wait, your dad's Ken and you're Kent and I'm KT. What name could you have? And I said, we're going to call him Quad. But I think it's going to end here.
He just stared.
No, not going to happen.
So I'm the third, and it's ending with me. So KT, you and I feel it. I understand. I completely get it. All right, so jumping off that, dude, I'm stoked for him. I kind of don't want to. If there's anything that I could do to help, I'm sure he's surrounded by pure talent. If there's any little piece of value that I could help him with, I would love anything
cool.
I could do.
He's listening to this, so expect a phone call.
I will take it.
I just want to know. I want to know if I had a crystal ball.
Yes.
I'd want to know how long it's going to be until KT gets to sit in this chair.
Oh,
wouldn't that be nice to know when you go, this is the guy that I need in this chair now. So be interested to see when that is.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna need that phone call because I'm curious on what his next step is. Because like you said, the failures, there's a lot to learn from. Some of the challenges, I'd like for him to live in that role for a little while.
Yeah.
And get that, and then
no, that's what I mean. Yeah, I want to know when he earns the right to sit in this chair. When
that's
you want to,
awesome.
This is who I want.
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
Wouldn't it be cool at 28? You're going, okay, you're ready. You have the experience that people want to hear about now.
Well, can I? Man, I was asked a question over the weekend that was basically, if you were to build an organization, think about how big it would be, and let's talk about it. And I said, man, what would it look like to build an organization that was big enough to where the Gary Kellers of the world would want to live in it? I was like, just thinking about that. So, and also Gary Keller says you could be anywhere you want to be in 5 years. And so 4 years, plenty of time.
You're only 5 years away from the best you.
Yep. So that's awesome. So for you, we talked a little bit about expansion and what you're doing in it right now, and taking the a little bit slower, but getting the process, the systems, the tools right. What's past that? What's next for you? Is it? Yeah.
Okay. So there's I have 3 areas of my life.
Okay.
I've got my real estate team, and that's where we're doing expansion. I've got my operating principal, and that's like a managing partner. I've got the offices that I run, and then I've got this. I've got the speaking to do. I did 75 full day speaking engagements last year. That doesn't count things like this or shorter things. That's full days, and I did them all over the country. In fact, I did one in Toronto, which makes me an international speaker now. But I was in Seattle, and I've been in California over the last couple of years. I've been all over the place. So I really have 3 distinct areas of my life. So you have to break it down into that and say, okay, where are you going to go in each one? Because although they're all tied to real estate, it's 3 different aspects of my life.
Yes.
So when you break it down with expansion, I want to go. That's, to me, I'm going to keep doing it. I have no desire to get out of real estate. That we're just going to keep doing. We're going to see how it grows, and I'm going to grow it as far as those around me want to. So I've got the people in place. How far do y'all want to take it?
Okay.
And we'll continue. Now, that's the question. That one you have to ask me, next year. Okay, now where's it going? Because we're still so new in it. In terms of being the managing partner of Keller Williams and having those offices, that's probably a 3 to 5 year run on doing that. And I have to make the decision there. Do I want to keep being the managing partner of 2, or do I want to be the managing partner of 10? Mm-hmm. Then there's the speaking part. This is the part I'm not giving up. This is what keeps me fresh. This is where I get my new ideas. This is what gives me all the things that I need to grow these other 2 businesses. Now, 75 full days is a lot.
Yeah.
That's probably going to start being cut back a little bit. Also, there's becoming more and more opportunities, and instead of running around the world, to maybe go just to Austin, Texas, and do something that's either live streamed or filmed.
Which I saw.
But I'll continue to those. Right now, if you ask me, Kent, what's going to change in your life in the next 5 years in terms of those 3?
Right.
I'm okay if nothing changes.
Right.
I love my life. I love doing all of them.
Yes.
I wake up excited. You
Even
were
this
saying,
early in the morning?
You were saying, man, this isn't early. That's the whole thing.
That's right.
I'm up every day.
Yeah.
I'm at 5 and I'm
Me too. Awesome.
And it's because so I like what I do. I really don't want now. I want my business to grow. I want my market centers to continue to improve and be more profitable. So I'm saying I want those things to happen. I'm not saying I want anything to change in them.
Yes.
But I like where I am. I like what I'm doing. I'm excited. The R word does not apply to me. Retirement is. I don't play.
It's ridiculous. That's the R word.
I don't play golf.
Yeah.
So you can only play so much tennis. I love to travel, but you have to come home at some point. And then what are you going to do?
Yes.
Some people would regret if they had to. Some people don't want to work till they die.
Yeah.
If you like what you do.
Yeah.
And not only, as much as I like what I do, I like the people I'm doing it with even more.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give up those relationships.
Yes.
So,
with what
you have a contented person here.
Yeah, with what you do, you're attracting the people you want to do it with, anyways. So that's the hockey puck. That's the circle.
Okay, there we go. Good. That's the puck. Good.
But there is a commonality between all 3 of those, and that's KW.
Yeah.
Right? If I look at all 3 of them, do you see yourself ever going into a higher level within KW, leadership, or anything like that? Is that on your radar?
Now, if I say no, then that's exactly what will happen, because you never know. We've been to Austin.
Yes.
Pam worked at International. We like North Carolina. Pam loved her job in Austin. She loved being there. The people are incredible.
Gosh, I could imagine, yeah.
It just wasn't being at home.
Right.
It would be tough for me to get her to move again.
Yeah.
As much as we like to travel, she likes being back there. But is there another, option that might come up? I would never say never. Who knows? Who knows how the business is going to change?
Yeah.
Who knows what roles might be created? So maybe. Do you know something I need to know? Is that okay?
I just saw a commonality.
A leading question. I don't know if you need like an assistant podcast director or something that you were looking for.
Yeah, that's what I need. No, it's just you start, if you just kind of sit back and look. And obviously, I love all 3 because it seems like the core is you're giving it all away. I mean, in teaching, you're giving it all away. Within the market centers, you're giving it all away. For your real estate, you're giving it all away so others can grow. It's just the other commonality was KW. So
but they're all giving it back. I mean,
that's right.
That's
the hockey puck.
Yeah, exactly. It's the big circle that we make. No, then they all are Keller Williams related, but that's who created the opportunity for me. I still, and you know, we always say no other company, no other company. I don't know of another real estate company that has the multitude of opportunities that we have. And that's the thing. I get not a week goes by that someone doesn't ask me, will you coach me? Which makes me know that at any point that I could go into the Keller Williams MAPS coaching program and probably have a full stable of clients. People say, why don't you do that? And I said, yeah, I had to decide. Do I want to go out and speak, or do I want to coach?
Right.
And I'm going to tell you the deciding factor in that, because both of them's helping people. Sure. I like to travel. I like to go. Well, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking you like to hold the microphone. That's what you were thinking I was going to say.
I was thinking like touch more people.
I was like that part too, but yeah, I like to go and travel, and for me, it's hard to do both to the level that I would want to do both.
Sure.
But yeah, there's all kinds of opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. At one time, and I'm not saying never. What if I want to go be a bowl coach and travel and do that? I mean, you just keep thinking of different opportunities in this company that you just would not have other places. And in other real estate companies, whereas you might have a chance to go into a management position, you have to give up your real estate business when you do that. And at Keller Williams, you don't.
Right.
You can build this you can continue to build this business over here, just like I'm doing, and you get to go do these other things. I think that's one thing that I've probably inspired more people to do, is probably to speak in front of other people than I have to build a real estate team, because I think they see the passion that I have for it and how much fun you can have.
Yeah, agreed. And I'll thank KW for that, because when I first came from the other company here, one of the first things they wanted me to do is teach Ignite, and I was like, nope, I can't do that. And they pushed and pushed, and I did it, and I had a blast. And I learned the subject, right? So
you had to.
I had to. So I think all the opportunities KW has and all the big pushes that it's given me. So I'm going to ask you a few questions before we jump off here, because you have a class you're going to be teaching today. Yeah,
today I'm doing leverage in Fable. It's all about the things we're talking about. It's okay.
Leverage.
How do you?
I don't want to manage anybody.
Yeah, then don't come today. Yeah, don't show up. And it's all about finding talent and where to put them and how to build it. And half the class is the mistakes I've made, and half are the things I got right. That's how we break it down. Don't do this. Do this.
Yes.
And by the way, I am doing this right now. Don't do it that way. Here's why it doesn't work. Do it this way.
That's right.
Yeah. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. It's a fun mastermind day, and it gets a lot of top agents in there, because you've got people that are building teams. So that's what we're doing today.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to throw a few questions at you.
All right.
Yeah, you answered that. Yeah,
Good.
you've definitely answered that a
Good.
few times. What have you gotten better to saying no to?
I have gotten better to saying no to speaking engagements, because I do like it so much that there have been times that I ran myself too thin. And so now I'm much more protective of my calendar.
Right.
Because of my other roles, I don't speak on Mondays or Tuesdays anymore. And man, there have been times that I spoke all day, 5 days in a row.
Loved every minute.
Well, I like that part, but then I came home and went, oh my God, what happened to my desk?
Yes.
While I was gone.
Right.
And so I've gotten much better at, because I don't think I'm really good at a lot of stuff. I'm really good at time blocking, but yet I wasn't time blocking smart. Yeah, I was time blocking. I knew where I was going. I knew what I was doing. So I've gotten good at saying, you know what? No, it has to be a special exception for me to do anything on a Monday or Tuesday, because on Monday or Tuesday, that's when Mondays I'm spending time with my team, and Tuesdays I'm spending time, or opposite. Mondays I'm spending time as an operating partner and running my market centers, and Tuesdays I'm spending time with my team.
Right.
And I still got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to go out and change the world.
Right.
I need to watch my own world first.
Right.
So just saying no to and protecting my calendar.
What is the class you enjoy teaching the most?
Wow. It's probably a toss-up. Can I give you two?
Absolutely.
I really like. So today I'm doing the leverage class. I like that one because I've taken all the MREA material that's written for the agent and brought it into the team world, and we get to talk about building the teams. We take these models and how does it apply in the big level, and it's built off their models and systems, but it's a lot of my thoughts and my experiences. We like talking about ourselves, so that one's fun. But I really love a class called Train the Presenter, and that's when I get to go in and I get to work with 20 people at a time, and we take 20 people, and we spend a whole day on how to present, how to develop a presentation, and they put it all together, and on day 2 we come back and all 20 people get to present for the group. And if I come, so I show up, and if I teach a class, when the day's over, I leave, and I'm no longer a resource. Right. And all I'm leaving behind is just a manual with some stuff in it.
Right.
When I come and do train the presenter, when I leave, I've left 20 people behind to help change other people's lives.
Yeah.
And that's where there's a lot of satisfaction in that for me, knowing that, you know what, I've helped that Keller Williams office right there, because now they've got their Ignite instructors are going to be better, and they're going to bring more value. And by the way, now they also want to go down here, and they want to go to this market center and teach, and they get that bug in them. So that's the two that I really like.
Well, that's a cool little win to watch people succeed through that, and then maybe even roll into CES and stuff like that.
Well, so in 2 weeks after that Train the Trainer class, they have or Train the Presenter, they have Train the Trainer Advanced.
Right.
And there's going to be 20 people taking Train the Trainer Advanced in Charlotte, and I may get there, and it may be all 20 of them have been through. And it might not be all 20. Cool. It might only be 16 or 17, but there's going to be a large percentage of that class that went through it with me. And I have no role in that one, and I still show up.
Yeah. Because
I still want to see them do it, and I still want to give them feedback. I'm going to spend 2 days with these people again, and man, they're calling me, what I need to prepare for, and what I do, and it's so much fun. But just to watching them grow, and now I've got people that went through the process with me that are joining Carolina's educational services, and they're traveling around teaching, and it's cool that you've inspired people along that way. And that's one thing we haven't mentioned. Because I said we're learning based.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'm most proud of on my team, so there's 180,000 people at Keller Williams. Of 180,000, there are 47 master faculty. That's the highest level of training that you can have at Keller Williams. 47. Right. 3 of the 47 are on my team. Ooh. Me, Pam, and Joseph, all master faculty. So you think about 180,000, 3 out of 47 we have together. That's how learning based we are. And I'm very, very proud of that.
So my nerd side loves that you know the numbers behind it.
Yeah, I know. And isn't it funny? I'm not a nerd, but man, if you're going to run a business, you got to know the numbers.
100%. Love the numbers. I was never a numbers person before I became TL. Look at this. I love the number. Yeah. That is my poster.
Y'all can't see that.
Y'all can't see that. Yeah.
That's so Jenny that's been with me since 2000. She switched industries with me.
Yeah.
And she's always been great about keeping the numbers for me. We have every cell since Jenny and I joined Pam in 2005. We have every number since the day we started, which is cool because I can go back at any time and I can pull stuff. We've just always kept them. And the other day I had this thought in terms of numbers. In my mind, I felt like we closed about 1.5 houses for every listing that we took. I thought, is that a real number? So I went and pulled my records. I went back to 2013. I went and pulled them. In that time, we anywhere from 1.43 to 1.81 closings per listing taken. I was like, man, it's dead on. But is that a good number? I don't know. So I went out and I called some of my buddies that have big teams. And I called Blake Ginther and Donna Harmatuck. Was he? Yeah, Donna Harmatuck. Lad Gasparovich, and I think he was on the pie. I got his name right. Matt Perry. So if you hadn't had Matt and Donna, okay, good. So Donna's the one you need to get Donna.
All right, I'll get
Donna. So I went and called Mary Cheatham King. You need to get those you need to get on there. And I called them and I said, hey guys, this is the number that I have. This is a good number. They all ran their numbers, and we all found out that we were between that 1.5 to 1.65 closings per listings taken. So then I go back to the MRA book. And MRA books says, well, if you go on this many listing appointments, you take this many listings, and you close this many, and the numbers worked out perfect, you should be doing that the way that it's done. And so now I've just got a new way to train people off knowing my numbers. Because if you came to me and you said, Kent, I want to close 36 houses next year. Take 24 listings. If you take 24 listings, I guarantee you'll sell 36. How do you know? Well, here's the history of it right here.
Yep.
Because we follow our numbers.
There's no good or bad in the numbers either. It is what it is. That's the results. So 24, 36.
This. Done.
Yep. Ah, cool. Love it. All right. What profession other than your own would be fun to attempt?
So, I mean, do we get to go back to childhood here? You
Yes,
know? Okay,
go
well,
deep.
I mean, well, no, it's pretty. I mean, for forever, I wanted to play shortstop for the Cincinnati Reds. So, which is hard to say now because they're terrible. But yeah, what profession? Wow. You know, if you look at it, I'm in sales, which that covers a bunch of different things that you could do. And I'm a public speaker, which means 99.99% of the people don't want to do that. So I'm already doing that. You're supposed to give me a heads up on some of this stuff. Oh, I know what it is. You know what it is? I would love to be a podcast host. That would be my dream job if I was not doing what I was doing now.
So what about the shortstop? What about that excites you?
Oh, you know, I love sports. Just always have. Still do. I still love
team,
to go.
That team. Why that team?
Why that team? Because I was Charlotte, North Carolina. Is very simple. When I was 5 years old, for my birthday, I got a Johnny Bench bat.
Sold from there.
No other reason. I grew up a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Why? Because when I was in kindergarten, my best friend was from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Carolina Tar Heel because my mom loved the Tar Heels, and I went to school there, and that's how we get these elites. If you go up in a place like I did, people say, well, Charlotte had teams. No, we didn't. Now, when I was a kid, nobody had thought of Hornets back then, and especially not the Panthers.
Yeah.
So you just adopt things like that, and that's who it was. And I think that's how most of us, if you're not born somewhere that has it, well, you look around. When I was a kid, the Cowboys were America's team. Mm-hmm. It's because they were good.
Yeah.
If you went back and the Cleveland Browns had the record of success through the 70s and 80s that the Cowboys did, then the Cleveland Browns would be America's team. It just is.
Interesting.
Everybody likes being on a team.
Yeah.
The only thing better than being on a team is being on a winning team.
Yeah.
If you don't believe me, if you don't believe that's true, I'm going to give you an example of this, okay? So this Saturday, and by the way, for those of you who watch, if you don't know, we're in football season right now, in case you're watching this in the future. It's football season right now. So this Saturday, I want you to go to a sports bar, and I want you to sit there all day, and I want you to count how many Clemson Tiger shirts you see versus how many North Carolina Tar Heel shirts you see, okay?
Okay.
Then in February, I want you to go to that same sports bar on a Saturday and sit there all day and see how many Clemson Tiger shirts you see versus how many North Carolina Tar Heel shirts you see. You're in the same sports bar, but you're in two different sports seasons, and you see how many all of a sudden there are Carolina basketball fans coming out in Clemson football. It just that.
When did you put that together? Because obviously you put it together somewhere where you stay at. When did you see that? When did that make sense to you?
So I tell you when it was.
Yeah.
We have the KPA now.
Yes.
Before that thing called the AVA. It's the same concept.
Yes.
In my AVA, it said Kent likes being on a team. He just likes being the leader of the team.
Okay.
That stuck in my head, and I started thinking, well, who doesn't like being on a team? Mm-hmm. And then I started thinking about, but wait a minute. Go out. There's just as many people in Fayetteville that are from Cleveland, Ohio, as there are from Boston, Massachusetts. But how many Patriots jerseys do you see versus Browns jerseys?
Right.
People want to be on a winning team more than just being on a team. Now, if you can't be on a winning team, you still want to be on a team. And it just something that I've developed over time, but it's just true.
Yeah.
It just is. I mean, who doesn't want to be on a winning team?
How cool is it when John Davis is yelling at you like he's the coach of a winning team?
That's when he is.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He is. And not only is he on a winning team, he's if you look at growth and you look at agent count, he's winning by a big margin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now he's kind of looking like Nick Saban a little bit. The only difference between, I don't know if I say this, the only difference between John Davis and Nick Saban is I like John Davis. So that's for my buddy Darren, who's a big Alabama fan, in case he listens to this.
I need to get John Davis on the podcast. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. Make that happen. His will be 5 minutes if you do get him on there, because he's ain't got time for all that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Here's what is a mistake you see newbies doing in your industry?
Oh, taking the easy route. Yeah, I mean, if you're not gonna do the activities, you're not gonna win in this business.
Yeah,
you're just not. And I think a failure of our industry is we don't tell people what it takes to be successful before they even start the process.
Yeah.
And we've got these people coming out of real estate school going, got my license, what do I do now? And you tell them, they go, well, I don't want to do that. Nah. Unfortunately, you already spent a few $1,000s, buying the book and taking the class, taking the state exam and joining MLS and everything. And that's why the failure rate in this business is so big. Yeah. 66% of new licensees fell out in the first 24 months. Yeah. 84% fell out in the first 48 months. That's why is we're just not warning them. They think it's going to be easier than it is. And even it's been easy the last 3 years, and people still struggled. Yeah. Well, now we're going into a shifting market, and they're really going to struggle. That's the thought process is when this market shifts, we're at 1.3 million agents right now. There's a lot of people that think we might fall to 700,000 or 800,000 agents, and you're going, well, that's terrible. Actually, Gary Keller says, hey, what's going to happen is you, the agent, you're going to make less money per deal, but you can do more deals. It's just going to be the nature of the business.
Right.
That's going to happen. We're probably going to start netting a little bit less per deal. Yeah. But there's going to be more deals available to those of us that'll do the activities and work.
That's why talent is so dang important, because talent will survive a shift. I mean, that is the one thing. If you got they will make it no matter what. No excuses. We're going to make it no matter shift or not. That's why it's so important to bring those talented people in your business.
Actually, the top people thrive in a shift because we get rid of – when the market's good, there's too many people that will list a house with just anybody. Yeah. When the market's bad, they want the expert. Yep. They want the person that does it, that knows it, because they know it's not easy.
That's right.
The top – and it's sick – and this is a sick thought, but your top agents actually want the shift to get here, because it's a little too easy right now to sell a house. Yep. If you're heavy enough to put a sign up, you can sell a house. Yep. Let's get back to where it takes some expertise to sell a house, and then we start getting our unfair share again.
Yep. Agreed. So what is a mistake you're seeing seasoned people do in your industry?
Well, can I tell you the one they're getting ready to make? Yes. As the market shifts, they're going to quit doing what works. They're going, well, I need to back off a little bit. I need to slow down, when actually they should be speeding up. As the market shifts, you need to double down your efforts, because there's people that will not be able to afford to do what works. Yes. Or won't have the time, or have to get a real job.
It's the opportunity.
So that's what I'm preaching now, is whatever's working for you, double down on it. Yeah. Go big. And that's when you'll see your market share increase, and you'll start taking over more than you probably even deserve, because other people won't do it.
Yep. Grant Cardone says, when the market retracts, you expand.
That's it.
Love it. All right. Few more questions. Purchases of less than $100 that have most improved your life.
Purchases of where do you come?
So these aren't my questions.
I so should have come up with that. Purchases
we're almost done.
Of less than $100
that have most improved your life.
Wow. I guess my Nikes, because I could jump higher. Man, that's a
less than $100 Nikes.
Well, back in the day, back in the day they were.
Yeah.
Dude, you got no clue. I have not. I don't even know that. First off, I don't buy anything. They'll tell you that. Pam buys everything for me. People say, "Where'd that outfit come from?" Out of my closet, where the rest of them do. I don't know. I love my earbuds. Makes my workouts easier without stuff hanging all over me. So that's good. I don't know. Next question. Next question.
So I will say you're the second person to say earbuds.
Oh, good. Yeah. What have been some answers? Give me some. What have people said in the past?
Audible.com. That's been a big one. So people listening to audiobooks.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So give me ideas. So
yeah, stuff like that. Honestly, I can't think of the rest. Because when I heard Audible a few times, I was like, I need to contact them and see if I can pull some monetary stuff out.
There you go. There you go.
All right. So since I've peppered you with questions, what question do you have for me?
So where do you see the real estate market going?
Shifting.
How bad?
In our market, we're getting super close to the Raleigh market. So we've seen more multiple offers than we've ever seen. We're seeing appraisal problems. We're seeing the buyers don't have nearly as much power as they used to, even 8 months ago. And it's shifting quick in our market. Matter of fact, listings taken are, I'm going to do a 3-month run. Listings taken, year to date, up 0.3%. Then we went up 3%. Last month, we went 0.8%. This is listings taken. Right now, listings sold, we're at 24% year to date. We're up 24%. So we're eating up our own inventory.
Yeah. So for those of you listening, I know most of you probably don't care about the Fayetteville real estate market. Here's what you care about when he's saying that. He knows his numbers. He knows what's going on so that he can have those conversations. If we just would have had that conversation at a cocktail party with somebody that was thinking about selling their house, he just earned the business.
Right.
Because he knew his numbers. All right, next question.
What question do you have for everybody listening?
Now I got one more for you.
Oh, sorry.
One more for you.
Yeah.
What 3 people would you most like to sit in this chair?
Gary Keller. He challenged me the whole time we were talking. Love Mo Anderson. Isn't this funny? It's all okay. I would love to hear Mo Anderson, a little bit more of her story. Which, by the way, if you download Kelly and you put in Mo, you're going to get an inspirational quote.
Exactly.
All right. They have to be alive.
So now who you got? Because right now I'm liking the company I'm in. It's Gary, Mo, and me. This is pretty good.
Right.
So I just want to know, who else.
Yeah. So the third person would be someone who's influenced me since when I was young. He's passed away now. He started from literally $0 to a millionaire here in Fayetteville. Opened up his own restaurant, got into real estate. Would be Pedro Asonio. And this guy, I never had the opportunity to show him, like I haven't quote unquote made it. I always promised him that I would, and he's never really seen it.
Gotcha.
So I would like one for him to see it selfishly. I've not made it, but more than where I was. And I would like to get his story documented because I don't know if that ever happened. And he's got an amazing story.
Cool.
That would be the third one.
Okay.
What question do you have for everyone listening?
So, can I just ask them one question before we quit?
Please do.
There's one big one. For the people listening, I want to know what it is that you can do today to change the world. And so you don't think that's too big. I want to tell you this. If you change one person's life today, you've changed the world. So what is that one thing? And go with that each day.
So let us know, what is that one thing that you can do to change the whole entire world? So where can they find you?
Where can they find me?
Yes. Or your team.
Or my team. So you can get me Kent Temple at KW.com, 2 T's in the middle, probably the easiest way to reach me, easiest way to get to my team. Again, if anybody's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, Lake Norman, Charlotte, Charleston, Asheville, and the Triad.
Yeah.
Really and truly, if you want to sell real estate anywhere in the Carolinas, if you call me, I will get you to the right person.
That's right. And what if they're a talented person wanting to get into real estate? Should they call you too?
I would love to advise people on that. I mean, if you're thinking about it, let me know. Let me know what we can do for you.
Awesome. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this, subscribe to the Proven by Ruben podcast. There will be more that comes. And thank you so much, Kent, for doing this with me.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, brother.